Hi guys, welcome back to the Yorkshire Modeller. We are now on to issue 21 of Hachette Partworks Battleship Bismarck. With issue 21 we get the first section of the superstructure, so I've got the parts out of the box already. So the deck there, which isn't attached, we've got to screw that on, we do that in this issue. And then we get 4 sprues of different sizes. And then we get 2 what look like breakwaters as well. So what I will do, I will get the camera pointed back at the desk and we'll go through exactly what we get with the issue. So, issue 21, as I say, we get the first part of the superstructure and then 4 sprues and a couple of other plant bits as well. We're going to attach that bit of decking to the superstructure first, and you get PB screws with this one, and then, like I say, screw all that in, attach the protective walls, that's what they are, not breakwaters. So we attach those in this one, and then it's basically loads of plant-on details on the deck and then on the walls on the superstructure as well. So there's a lot of gluing, a lot of cutting in this one, but obviously that's as well what it looks like when it's all finished. You don't actually attach the superstructure onto that bit of decking in this issue. But what we do, you can just kind of plop it on, so just to show you kind of what it's going to look like when it's finished. Then obviously you've got the gun that's going to go there, that's Bruno that's going to sit there. So yeah, that's what it'll look like when that's all attached, and obviously we've got loads of bits to attach on here as well, so get rid of that. First things first though, move these bits out the way and get this bag of screws opened. So, since issue 20, where we went over the 100 subscribers, we've had a couple of other people subscribe to the channel, so thank you for joining, guys. The first part of the instructions for the forward section of the superstructure say place the forward superstructure deck 21.6 on the work surface, position the decking, which obviously is that bit there, so that the screw sockets align as indicated by the arrows, which are the 2 sockets there and the 2 sockets there. When correctly positioned, the decking is flush with the raised section of the grey superstructure, which it is just there. You will need 4 PB screws, 2 times 5mm, to fix the decking in place. So that's why we've got these 5 screws here that came with this issue. So same as always, bring that in. We'll get them all on the screwdriver, and then we'll just pop these in here. Screw them in. That's 1. I've said this before, but whenever I'm screwing anything on this, or well, anything that's got multiple screws, I tend to screw them in at opposite angles. So I'll do one, then I'll do the one that's diagonal, then I'll do the one that's opposite, then I'll do the one that's diagonal. That comes from my dad restored an MGB about 12, 13 years ago now, minimum. Hang on. Yeah, about 12 or 13 years ago. And when he was, taking the wheels off or reattaching things, he would always attach things at opposing corners, so you didn't get too much tension on one side and then it splays everything off. So that's kind of why I do it this way now. So that there is all attached on, and the deck's on as well. That's the only bit that we actually screw on this week. Put that away and away there. So, all nice and screwed on. So next we're going to need tweezers, side cutters, and some super glue. So this is now the second pot of super glue that we're on in this build. Do you know what? I'm going to get rid of that. So yeah, second pot of super glue we're on in this build. And I can foresee there's going to be a lot more of them. So we'll bring that one back in actually. So, I always use like super glue gel just because I find it easier to work with. So now we've got all the bits we need. I'll put that there, bring this here, put those there. Right, so now the first thing we need, once the decking's all screwed in, check the fit for the starboard protective wall. Now the starboard one has the, just see if I can lock the exposure. There we go. So the starboard one is this one. So if you put it in your hand and you've got the flat part at the top, it should curve a little bit there, straight up more or less across and then straight down. And this one goes in that little slot there, and that little slot there, and that little slot there. So, kind of like that. So always check the fitting, I've said this before, but always check the fitting before you glue anything on. When you're happy with the fit, add a tiny bit of super glue to the studs on the lower edge of the wall and fix it in place. So, and it is just take a tiny bit of super glue on each of these pegs, just to hold it in place. Then wind the pegs back up, pop them back in. Done. Protective wall added on one side. And then we do exactly the same thing with the other protective wall. Check that fits properly first. Perfect. So, super glue on all of the pegs. There we go. And then line it up, pop it straight in, hold it down for a second, and then that one's on there as well. So that's the two supporting walls, protective walls attached in place. Now, use a sharp knife to remove the two skylights 20.5 from the frame. File away any unevenness where they were connected to the frame. Check the fit of the skylights on the deck inside the protective walls, and then glue in place as shown. So that would be the small sprue that we get that's just got the two skylights on. So, good thing with side cutters is usually there's very little need to clean anything up, because you see, you know, there, very little showing. So now on this, where these are going, there's two little holes right in these two corners, just there and just there. There's two tiny little holes, and that's where these are going. So just line them up like that. So that one fits perfectly. And then I'll do the same with the other side, with the other one. That one fits perfectly as well. So, See what I'm going to do with these. This is where tweezers are your friend. So, that one just in there. And then that one there. Straight into the hole next to it. There we go. Press those down firmly. They're in as well. So next we need the part with kind of the four, oh, that's already been slightly turned off the sprue, but the four like vents, not vents, pipes, that kind of thing. Cut the four barrel containers, cut the four barrel containers 20.1 from the frame. Check the fit of the containers. The pegs for the containers fit into the holes in the decking 20.1, which is, by the look of it, those three holes there, those three holes just there, and then those two there, and those two there. When I say three holes, don't listen to me. It's these two holes, one there and one there. So it's the two on the inside. So it's that one and that one. That last one is probably, just from looking now, going to be for a railing at a later point. So it's those two holes, that one, that one, that one, that one, and then those two there as well. So we'll cut all these off. Ooh. So one. Right, now check the orientation on these, because glue them in place on the deck as shown. So on one side you've got little like nubs. I'm not sure whether you can see that properly. There you can. And then on the other side it's plain. Those little details have to face towards each other by the look of the instructions. So when you're putting it on the deck, if you have those with the two that are flat against this protective walls, have those little nubs and details facing forward, like that. Oh, come on, fit in there. There we go. And then make sure they're seated all the way down, so those details are facing towards where the gun's going to be. There we go. And then same on the other side as well. There we go, so they're both in. And now you can see there that all those details are facing towards where the gun's going to be. Now the other ones, those details have to face backwards, so they have to face towards these ones. So details on this one, on this side, and then I've try and get one in position. There we go. And then push that down. Now there are a couple of little other little pegs. So these two pegs in the middle, so that one there and that one there, are the ones that you actually glue into the deck. But then that peg at each end, so that one there and that one there, are kind of just to support it. But if I hold it a little bit closer, you can see the flat one there that's against the protective wall has got the details pointing that way, and then that one there, let's see if I can tilt it. Hopefully you can see it, but the details are pointed inwards on that one. So, just get this last one done. And that's 2 of the 3 sprues we get this week sorted. 2 of the 4 sprues, sorry. Can't count today. There we go, that's in. Lovely. So, that's all in and sorted. So now we're going on to the side details. So, let's go back to the sprue here. Sprue 2107 is the big sprue. Sprues everywhere today. So yeah, 21.7 is the larger of the 2 sprues. So now we've got those bits all in place. I'll move the deck over just to there so we can keep everything nice and tidy. Now these ones are all individually numbered, which helps massively. So the instructions say remove A1, A2 and A3. So A1, 2 and 3. So 3, 2, 1. So 3, 2, 1. So these are all the bits then that are going to go on the side of the superstructure, and we're doing the starboard side first. So remove the 3 parts A1, 2 and 3 from the frame. Take care not to remove the side tabs. Carefully yeah, that's fine. Identify the fixing points on the starboard wall of the deck that are circled. Apply superglue to the pegs on parts A1, 2 and 3 and fix in place on the starboard superstructure deck as shown. So, let's do this one first. So part A1 goes in this. So where you've got these 3 little kind of hatches, this one goes there. So if I get a couple of these, so that one's on. There we go. Then part 2 here goes in that little hole there. So you've got like a porthole type thing there. It's that little hole next to it just there. So let's get some tweezers. And if I pop a dab of super glue on here, and then, no it doesn't, that's a lie. It doesn't go in that little hole there. It goes a little bit further along. So where you've got these 2 little hatch things here, it goes straight above them. So there's that little notch just there. Whoops. That little notch just there. That notch is the one they go in. So let's line this up. one's in place there. And then part 3 goes right in that little tab at the very end just there. So make sure I've got this one the right way round. Pretty sure it goes that way. Yes, it does. Yep. So always keep checking back to the instructions. It makes life a lot easier for lining them up. As you've just seen, I've almost glued these in the wrong place already. Oh, you swine. I do need some new tweezers because these are about at it. They're not actually holding things straight anymore. That bite. There we go. So that is part 3 in place just there as well. So 1, 2, 3. Next we clip parts. There's 2 part A4s. Yes, there is. So clip these off the sprue, again making sure that we don't cut those little tabs off. It'll make aligning things a lot easier. So that's 1, that's 2. So let me just move you around just a smidge. There we go. So these 2 go in the 2 holes, one there and one there. Okay. One. So yeah, always check the orientation of the way things need to go, because it does make life a lot easier as you're doing this. That way around there. Oh, that's nearly went on the deck then. So those covers are now all glued in to place on this side. Now you do exactly the same thing on the other side, only it's parts. Oh, hang on. Right, so and there is another part 4 which goes, whoops, there we go. So this part A4 goes next to this one. So that slot I told you about originally, that one just there, it goes in that one. So that one goes in there like that. So that one's the one we've just attached. So all of those parts are now all in place. So turn it over, we do exactly the same on the other side. Right, sorry about that guys, I could just hear my phone ringing downstairs. So I've cut all the bits off the sprue that we're going to need for this next bit. So all this bit's done on the other side, it's done on the port side now. So we've done those bits there. So I've got them laid out on my table here. On your side it's going to look possibly the wrong way around. For me that's part A5 and it works straight across to A9. Now we do get 1 part A5, 1 A6, 1 A7, 3 8, 8 and 1 9. So I'll work my way across for you. So we've got that side of the superstructure is what we've just done. We're moving on to this one now. So on this side we've got A5 which is going to go in the little hole just there at the very back. And then we've got A6 that goes in that little hole just there. So I'll attach those on. So that's A5 in. And now A6. There we go. So they're both in. That part A6 there took quite a bit of pushing. Just be gentle with it though. I had to push it quite a bit to get it to sit properly. Now A7 goes in this little kind of indent bit here. So it's like an L-shaped upside down L indent. So I'm actually going to put the glue in the indent this time. Tiny bit more in there, I think. There we go. And then if we pop that in top corner first, slip it in. There we go. So that's part A7 in. Now A9 goes in the little slot next to that. So I want to attach that one now. So A9 goes in that little one just there. So A9 is the last one that you cut off the sprue. Just making sure, making sure that we just get everything in the right place. Again, this one needs a little bit of force. There we go, that's in. There we go, so that's that one in there as well. And now the three A8s go in the next three holes along. So there's like one little one just there, one just there, and then that one just there. So I'll get those all in place and then we'll show you how it all looks. So that's all the bits attached. We've got 7, 9, and then the 3 A8 pieces on that side. Now, the next part are the hatches that go on, I think they go on both sides of the deck. So what we've got here on the very last sprue is we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts. The instructions just say study the shape of the parts on frame 21.8. Identify the parts, storage lockers B1 and B3 and the door B2. Cut them out from the frame and check how they fit into the circled sockets on the forward end of the Superstructure deck. I'm going to do this bit off camera. The only reason being, my camera is running out of space, which is why I've had to do a couple of little cuts. I don't like doing this. I'm really, really sorry that it's been, that I've had to cut away, but I just want to make sure that I can get everything on this memory card. I'll talk a bit more about that at the end. But yeah, I'll get all this set up and then I will show you what it all looks like once it's all finished. But the basic process of doing it is exactly the same as what you've done for all the bits that we've planted onto the sides up to now. Just cut them out, make sure they're all in the right place. These ones are all numbered as well, so you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 on this sprue. I will just cut them out, put them all in order, see where each one goes on the superstructure and then glue them in one at a time, but have them all cut off the sprue and in a line so you can just grab them. So I'll just get that done and then I'll be straight back with you. So they're all attached. So what I'll do, I'll show you the starboard, the port side that we did first. So we've got all the details added on. So what we've got now is where we've got the the 2 part 8s up here. We've got the first part which goes in a little tiny slot. It's actually a slot just there. Then we've got so that's B1. Then we've got B2 just straight next to it. So there's B1 just there, B2 just there, and then B3 is up in that top corner just there. And then on the other side, we've got B4 is that one, B5 is that one, B6 is that one. So that's everything attached onto this deck, onto this superstructure part, and if you put it onto the actual hull, now that everything's in place, you can start to see how it will actually look when we've all got it attached. So that's now starting to look brilliant. Right then guys, so that's issue 21 all finished. With issue 22, we get the next deck section, so that's the fourth section of the deck, and we also get the two barbets for the forward 15cm guns, so more artillery coming soon, hopefully. Next week will be the last video you get from me for the Bismarck for a couple of weeks, because my wife and I are going away for a fortnight. We're going to be out of the country, so I'm not going to be able to upload anything Bismarck-wise. I am hoping that the second build that I'm doing will be here by then, so I will upload that if it comes in time. I'll record it and upload it on the, what would it be? It'd be Thursday the 25th of July, and then the following Thursday, which I think is the 1st? I think it's the 1st of August, or somewhere around there. I'll upload that, and then you've got something to sink your teeth into if the magazine comes, and then when I get back from holiday, I'll do a couple of Bismarck builds just to try and tie everything together, and I might just do 2 a week, and then we're back on track. I am going to be getting some new cameras, hopefully after I come back from Tenerife, just because I want, where you're sat now, where you're looking at me, I want a camera that sits there. I'd like a camera that sits like over here somewhere to record the table down that way, and then another one to record the table that way. So I've got 3 cameras. So when I edit everything, I can just put it all together, and it'll look a lot better, I think. So that's what's next, technically, for the channel. Video-wise, like I say, I've got the build coming up, the second build coming up, so that one should hopefully be up within the next couple of weeks if the magazine comes. I've been in touch with the company today, and they've said, yeah, it's set to be released this week. The orders have been sent to the warehouse, and they should be dispatching them soon. So hopefully that all balances out. Loads of different things coming to the channel. I've been teasing it for a while. I'm now starting to get things in place to actually do it. So yeah, as always, like, share, subscribe to the Yorkshire Modeller YouTube channel. I am on Facebook as well, which I'll put in the comment section down below, and you can follow me on Twitter, which I'll also put in the comment section down below if you want to. But until next week, when we do the final issue of Battleship Bismarck before the 2-week break, I will see you then. Happy modelling, guys.